this is the time to take your tornado precautions. It is moving towards Central City, multiple confirmations that it has touched down, multiple videos and photos as well. You can see the rotation on radar still very strong. There's the most recent scan. That looks even stronger as it approaches Central City. The other big concern with all this is now Tropical Storm Gordon that we were just talking about. Its track from the National Hurricane Center has it making landfall as a Category 1 in New Orleans. But the big problem is, look at the track. It brings it into eastern Iowa, not as a hurricane, of course, but it will be bringing in a lot of moisture. We're in the city of Janesville right now, and I want to show you is just how fast the water is moving. The flooding threat here, not a really significant threat. They've built it much further away from the river. But look just how much power the river has right now. It's moving very, very fast. That's why we've been telling people to please stay out of the water. On a mission to touch the sun, you're going to need a lot of rocket power to get there. That's where the Delta IV heavy rocket comes into play. At takeoff, it'll have 2.1 million pounds of thrust, which will ultimately help the Parker Solar Probe get up to its max speed of 430,000 miles per hour. That's about 118 miles per second, by the way. A live look over Iowa City. We're looking west here. That little dot right there, that's planet Venus. And tomorrow we'll have a pretty cool photo op because Venus will be racing the moon towards the moonset tomorrow night. So right around sunset, Venus will be pretty much right next to the little crescent moon tomorrow night. So it'll be a pretty cool shot there. We've been looking at the temperatures through the RAGBRAI cities they made all the way across Iowa. The average temperature, if the forecast holds for tomorrow, 81 degrees. I mean, for July, that's phenomenal. We've had low humidity all week long as well. And we kind of have this northwest wind. It's all bringing all this smoke from these wildfires into our air. That's why our skies are so hazy. And the reason why the colors kind of change a little bit, the sunlight that comes from the sun is white light, made up of a rainbow of different colors. But when you have all that smoke in the atmosphere, it blocks out the blues, the oranges, the purples, and all you really get is that red. And that's why the sunsets look like this and sunrises look like this, a bright red sky. And that piece over here, you can still see the nails are sticking through. So we've kind of plotted this course already, so we know kind of where we're walking. But if you're out in this damage field, just know you have to worry about things like nails and all that. So you can see over here, the window on this house next door blown out. Thankfully, the roof not quite as damaged, but now that we kind of get a better view, if you can turn back around, CJ, you can kind of see a better picture of the roof damage that was done to Brandon's home there. It's just really, really sad, and I think that's the worst damage we've seen so far. So let's continue walking this way. There's been, again, the tree damage is kind of the biggest concern so far. The railroad crossing right over here, you can actually see one of the warning lights. The warning lights right there is actually knocked down by the winds. Likely pretty strong to do that. It takes some pretty good winds to do that. And again, if you're just joining us or you're watching CBS 2 News live at 5 o'clock and the news is weather, we have that tornado warning now in effect for Benton, Buchanan, and Lynn counties. And Terry's pointing it here. That is that air circulation. We watched it get really strong, weaken a little bit. Definitely looks like it's starting to kind of increase in intensity yet again, coming very, very close to the center point area. About 10 minutes ago, we had a confirmed tornado on the ground via weather spotters northwest of Shellsburg and southeast of the Vinton area. Here's that circulation right now, again, moving very, very close to center point. So we've been calling you to action for the last about 10-15 minutes. If you're in center point, if you're in a mobile home, please seek a sturdier shelter. If you're inside your home, if you have a basement, that's the best place to be. But if you don't have a basement, other good options. You have an interior closet, a great option to be. That's a good, safe place to be. If you're heading there, maybe grab some shoes just in case the worst does happen. It's better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. And again, that circulation is approaching the I-380 corridor near center point. Here's a sky cam yet again. Again, doesn't look like there's anything on the ground. That's kind of an interesting feature, though, on the kind of the west side of this. This is that wall cloud right here that we, very frequently will call out in our severe weather coverage. This is kind of that part of the storm that's rotating, and tornadoes would come from the wall cloud. And it doesn't appear there's anything on the ground with that. But one other thing I want to mention is you can see the condensation from the nuclear power plant here moving up to that storm. That's kind of showing you that the storm is strengthening. Yeah, what you're looking at right there, that is basically your area of rotation. You can see kind of the flank of the storm there on the far left edge. Notice how it's a very sharp cutoff. the area of rotation would be right behind those trees back there. It's definitely just a monstrous storm right now. You can see if we kind of zoom out, all the striations in the clouds above us, that is, again, that wind shear. You can see basically the winds blowing into the storm from the northeast. We'll kind of pan to the right. Again, this area is mainly the wind threat on the far north edge as well as the heavy rain threat, but we'll pan down to the big area of interest. That we had a great view there just a moment ago, but we're kind of losing it because with the trees. We're about to get another really good view of it here. Again, that's kind of the area of interest right down there. That is it. It's just approaching basically on top of Iowa City right now. It's any rotation with this storm, if there's any circulation, it would be embedded inside that area. Two big things really stand out. It's the on and off ramps are very, very slick. Not a lot of treatment has been done to them so far. We've only seen about 2 snowplows in the last about half hour driving on I-380 between about Cedar Rapids and North Liberty. The other big thing is that when you're on 380, when you approach those major exits like Highway 30, downtown Cedar Rapids, you're going to encounter a lot of merging traffic, and in those time frames, everything turns very, very slow. The biggest thing is people really can't accelerate from the on-ramp onto 380 because it's so slick. I mean, it's gonna be going from like a black and white TV to full HD. You know the countdown drill, right? 3, 2, 1, lift off. The important thing with GoZest is to remember 3, 4, 5. We're getting 3 times the data. That's coming in with 4 times the resolution in areas we haven't had high resolution satellite imagery before. And those images are coming in 5 times faster than ever before. This new satellite will help bring the United States satellite fleet into the top of its class.
We were able to cover more than half of the planet with the most sophisticated weather forecast technology and observations ever flown from space.
There's no denying the fact that weather forecasting is going to get a lot more accurate, and more lives will be saved once the newest in NOAA's fleet of weather satellites takes off Thursday evening. GoZest will provide high-resolution data from New Zealand and East Asia all the way to the coast of West Africa.
These satellites are giving us the ability to look at some storms as often as every 30 seconds, allowing forecasters to see storms as they're developing instead of as they've already taken place.
And liftoff.
The rocket carrying GoZest will be one of the strongest available to the carrier United Launch Alliance, a carrier which has played a historic role in America's weather satellite fleet, launching every one since the first one 42 years ago.
We're thrilled to play an important part in the GOES constellation.
Once GoZest takes flight Thursday evening, it'll continue the upgrade to NOAA's weather satellite fleet, keeping the system running through 2036.
Go Atlas, go Centaur, and go GoZest.
That excitement definitely building here at the Kennedy Space Center. And as I mentioned, that launch is set for Thursday, 4:02 p.m. Central Daylight Time. We'll continue to bring you behind the scenes look all throughout the week. And tomorrow, that's gonna be the fun day. We get up close and personal with a rocket. We're gonna be just a few hundred yards away, be able to get lots of good video and photos of it. We'll bring that to you and basically why the satellite is so important. For now, reporting live at the Kennedy Space Center, I'm meteorologist Nick Stewart, CBS 2 News. If you're out there right now, some light showers out there, 70 degrees, humidity a whopping 92%. So the atmosphere is still primed for more showers and storms as we go through the overnight hours because there's just so much humidity in the air right now. Look at the radar, shows the bulk of the rainfall that we've been dealing with this afternoon and evening slowly moving it off to our east. So we're beginning to dry out for now across eastern Iowa, the heavy rainfall sliding it out, but we do have more storms in approach. The wider view shows all this erupting off to our south and west in southeastern Nebraska and Iowa. This will all move in our direction, and we expect this to kind of fill in a little bit as we go through the overnight hours as well. Now, we've had a lot of rainfall. These are your 48-hour totals. Basically, since the rainfall event has begun, Traer at 6.6 inches, Bennett at 6.1, Waterloo even 4.5 inches of rainfall, Parnell at 3.6. Some of our larger cities avoiding some of the rainfall, so Dubuque only 2.3 inches. You know, that's still very high for September, that's for sure. Cedar Rapids near the bottom of the list at 1.2 inches or so. So all this rainfall having a big problems on the rivers. The English River near Kelowna is expected to crest at major flood stage Tuesday morning. Skunk River over at Marengo, about moderate flood stage on Tuesday evening. Iowa River at Sigourney, moderate flood stage also Monday evening. And any rainfall that we do get over the next about 24 to 36 hours will hinder this even further. So we also are looking at this flash flood watch, includes much of our area. This is through the overnight hours into early tomorrow. 1 to 3 inches of additional rainfall can be expected, and these flash flood watches will likely continue to be issued as we go through the rest of the week. So here's what's going on. This has not changed. Big area of high pressure off to our east. It's just bringing in so much moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, and this boundary is laid out, and that's just kind of the trigger for so many showers and storms. However, we're now getting another basically piece to the puzzle here. We now have a new tropical cyclone, number 7, expected to turn into a tropical storm as it moves into the Gulf of Mexico. And unfortunately, this is going to pump up so much more moisture into our atmosphere. So we're expected so much more heavy rainfall potential over the next 7 days. Another 3 to 6 inches possible across much of the Midwest. Hardest hit likely will be Iowa. So again, we're going to keep a very close eye on this as we go through the week. Let's time things out with our predictor model here. You notice kind of the rainfall begins to intensify tonight into early tomorrow morning. Showers and storms along that boundary look pretty likely. Rainfall, as you can notice, continues all the way through the day on Monday by 3 p.m. Still looking at showers and storms across our area. That continues into the overnight. Now Tuesday looks like it'll be kind of a dry day for much of the area. Fingers crossed for much of the area until the evening. The bad news is by 9 p.m. we're expecting very heavy rainfall to again form, and especially in our northern counties and for much of our rivers. That's bad news because all this will be flowing downstream. So we need to keep a close eye on that. In terms of precip, we're expecting over the next 7 days at least, again, 4 to 6 inches. So we really need to keep an eye on those rivers and streams. Temperatures tonight, low 60s in the north to low 80s or 70s in the south. Definitely not 82 degrees tonight in Sigourney, unfortunately. We're looking at the chance for showers and storms as we go through the evening. Some of those could definitely be heavy. By tomorrow, mid-70s north, maybe mid-80s in the south. Again, kind of a mix of showers and storms as we go throughout the day. 7-day forecast, leaving in that chance of rain as we go through the entire week. Temperatures, though, getting much cooler as we head towards the weekend.